Om Kayena vacha manasyendrayirva Bhutyatmanava prakriti swabhava Karomi adyat Sakalam paresma Narayanayeeti samarpayami Narayanayeeti samarpayami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. This is a very auspicious moment. We are going to talk about Bhakti. Bhakti, divine love. So we are going to talk about Bhakti as the essence of all spiritual paths, as the soul of all spiritual paths, and also as a path in itself, Bhakti Yoga. So this is a work made by sage Shandilya, the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras. Not much is known about this Shandilya. Only that he was a sage, a God-realized being that gone through many other philosophies and finally got to the nectar-like Bhakti as the soul of it all. So sage Shandilya had a very intellectual approach also. He was concerned about getting from the different authorities, the different scriptures, the validity, the importance of Bhakti as a spiritual path. So he gathered that all and shared it. So may you all find divine love in your hearts. May you all be blessed by this auspiciousness. May you all find God. Moving on, Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, Sutra 59. Why Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are prescribed in the scriptures? Because at the initial stage, before the dawn of Bhakti, they may result in purifying of the mind. Purity results from them, as seen from the introduction. Well, may result in purifying the mind, if it is done in the spirit of seeking liberation, seeking God. Because everything can be twisted, everything is twisted according to the same worldly needs. So it may result. And at the initial stage, because everything which is practiced then becomes natural with the dawn of Bhakti. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, different purposes are served by different small reservoirs of water, but a large lake serves all purposes at once. Similarly, different paths such as yoga and jnana may be employed for attaining different goals, but a wise man knows that the true purpose is God realization. A wise man knows that the true purpose is God realization. Those who don't know this, well, still need to work on their wisdom, because this is the purpose of all practices. So those who are engaged in spiritual practice to avoid God still have a lot to learn. But the continuation of it will purify to the extent if there's intensity, consistency, the strong desire for liberation, then it will clarify. Because what does liberation mean? It means God realization. Sutra 60. Some opine that when Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are superintended by Bhakti Yoga, then they indeed produce better results. Of course, like I've been saying, all spiritual practice is a devotional practice, should be a devotional practice. If it isn't, it is incomplete. So everything is a secondary aspect of the aid of devotion. So all spiritual practices are aids for devotion because they lead to purification. And the intended result is devotion. So the proud one says, oh, I'm doing these meditations, or just focusing on the eye to transcend illusion. That's very nice, that sentence, transcend illusion. But what that means is God communion, God realization. To realize Brahman is to realize God. So everything is a devotional practice. There's nothing but that. That means that Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, without Bhakti, they are not complete. They are not complete practices because the goal is missing. So they just wander, go like a ship with no boat, no sails, just sits there in the middle of the ocean. So does these practices continue until this quest for devotion is possible to contemplate. If these mentioned above, bhajan, kirtan, yoga, jnana, etc., are all employed judiciously with bhakti as the dominant and in the right manner, bhakti would give a better result. So this point is interesting because it comes like, it's not just yoga, jnana, meditation, but also bhajan, kirtan. All of these, if practiced, if are applied with bhakti, with devotion, as the dominant one, as the purpose of them all, then it gives better result and in the right manner, because all these things are important. Right conduct, right speech, alignment with the practice, the notion of reverence, sacredness, purity, all this is very important. Parabhakti, the complete devotion and love for Lord God, is the chief objective of all spiritual efforts. And these secondary forms of bhakti will give the desired result only if the result is crystal clear. Or they can be misused to character entertainment to maintain his worldly goals and investments. All these forms of reaching God are equally important and in the right spirit bring God realization. So Parabhakti, supreme, pure devotion, unalloyed devotion, is the objective of all spiritual practices. And if not done in the right manner, and if this intention is not crystal clear, then all of this is about the entertainment of the character, the worldly character, and it doesn't grow. Love and devotion doesn't grow, besides an emotionalism, which is quite different. Sutra 61. The illustrious sage Jaimini says that chanting and or listening the divine name is the best method for culturing unalloyed devotion. Yes, coupled with meditation. This is not sage Jaimini saying, it is me bringing to you. Because from the level of impurities, this will make things very much more intense. And for those, because one of the biggest problems in the practices is intensity. And with so much impurities, it's difficult to remember, to chant the name, God's name, either mentally, out loud, all the time, because there's a lot of distractions. So meditation comes in with the divine name, and the sitting formal meditation at a specific time, with routine, with discipline, with firmness, comes to bring fire to that and to burn all these bigger impurities, so that remembering the name and chanting the divine name without offenses becomes possible. But yes, I will repeat again, the illustrious sage Jaimini says that chanting and or listening the divine name is the best method for culturing unalloyed devotion. So, Nama Japa, repetition of the divine name, this is very important. And I put forth, coupled with meditation in meditation. So, having these periods for intense meditation throughout the day. And once you come out from this sitting position, the mantra, the name of God continues, goes on and on and on and on. And you sit, it goes on and on. Get up, goes on and on. This is the best. And also, yes, the bhajans, the kirtans, that exalts devotion even higher, higher and higher. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I'm not sure if I read this already, no. My devotees engage themselves in constantly chanting my divine name with firmness and steadfastness of mind, with all humility and sincerity, and bowing repeatedly before my form. Verily indeed, this way they attain me. So in this sentence comes the way of repeating the divine name. How is it done? The best way. And the best way is, my devotees, those who are my devotees, engage themselves in constantly chanting my divine name all the time with firmness, without forgetting, without firmness, constancy. And steadfastness of mind, with all humility, and this you will see by sincere efforts, that humility has a long way to go from what you can conceive it now. And sincerity, because if it's not sincere, if it's not about liberation constantly, it becomes just automatic, it becomes like offensive, that chanting. Chanting the name, the divine name, without reverence and devotion and sincerity is offensive. And bowing repeatedly before my form, verily indeed, this way they attain me. The form of God, either an image of God or an idol of God, a statue of God, or if you are blessed by the vision of God also, of course. Though Kali Yuga is a repository of all evils, it possesses a great quality that a person gets rid of worldliness and secures supreme bliss through Nama Sankirtana alone. So, through the repetition of the name alone, a person can remove all his worldliness. So this age of darkness, Kali Yuga, also brings opportunities. And this is a very big opportunity. What was obtained by meditation in Krita age, by offering sacrifices in Treta age, and by worshipping the Supreme in Dwapara age, it is all obtained by Nama Sankirtan, by the repetition of the divine name. Through Nama Sankirtan alone, all become rid of their faults and griefs and becomes devotees of the Supreme God. Because the divine name, like I've been repeating, is the manifestation of God in this world, one of his manifestations. When the divine name is uttered without offense, washes off all sins and ignites the 9 forms of devotional faith. We'll go to them. So, when the divine name is uttered without offense, because it is an offense alone, that blocks the power of the divine name from the part of the devotee, if he is chanting with offense. We are coming closer to that topic. Even God himself enjoys the sweetness of his names, because his names are not only sweet, they are bliss, repositories of bliss. It is God's nature, and even God delights on his own nature. You may be certain of that. The divine name is God, is the highest salvation, the highest end, and the noblest final beatitude. Yes. Divine name is the seed and the fruit to the jivas, the incarnated souls. So the divine name is the seed and the fruit for them. It has all in them. The name is the Supreme Lord, and the name alone is the supremest object of jiva worship. Name is the preceptor. The name is all for the devotee. It is God, it is the preceptor, it is everything. The divine name, the name of God, is the means and the end. Is the means to reach God, and is God itself, is also the end. In the Bhagavad Gita, I stay neither in Vaikuntha nor in the hearts of yogis, but wherever my devotees chant my name, there I am. This is Krishna saying. Offenses against the divine name, if not nipped in the bud, will delay the realization of the fruits of Nama Sankirtan. Plus, as there are offenses, a hell of sufferings awaits ahead. Be guarded against disregarding the spiritual preceptor, the Guru, without whose grace there's no grace from God. So, this is a special warning that be guarded against disregarding, to disregard, not even talking about disrespect, but disregard, which is a form of disrespect, but indirect. The spiritual preceptor, the Guru, without whose grace there's no grace from God. So there's a sentence that says, very interesting, that the Guru is even more important than God, because the Guru can help to reduce, how do you say this in English? To appease the wrath of God towards the devotee. But from the Guru's wrath, there's nothing that can protect. That's interesting. So this is now all these points coming to enhance that Nama Sankirtan, the repetition of divine name, because repeating the name has a way of being done, and also many things are disrupting that. Many things are creating sins, offenses that block the divine name, that go against your spiritual practice. So be guarded also against disparaging sadhus, a holy person, a mendicant, an ascetic, a yogi, a monk, a renunciant, who are the living embodiments of God's mercy and his most favorite, dearer to him than his own self. So these sadhus, monks, mendicants, ascetics, yogis, be guarded against disparaging, against them, mistreating, or whatever. They are God's most favorites. They are the embodiments of His mercy. Be guarded against regarding Sri Vishnu as absolutely different from His auspicious names, forms, qualities, or to treat Him on a par with other deities. So be regarded to look at God as simply a deity, or to see His names, forms, qualities, or to treat Him apart like other deities, but to make Him different, to give Him a different treatment to God than you give to the names. So the same reverence, devotion has to be there. Otherwise, the repetition of the name like that, the repetition of qualities, reading of His stories becomes disrespectful. Like I said, it is all manifestations of God in this world. The fortunate ones who want to ascend the terrace of praying do sincerely and incessantly chant the name of the Lord in the company of sadhus, those who have abandoned the world, those who are in God communion, and not in the company of worldly-minded people. The name is spiritual, wisdom, vows, meditation, abnegation, mental quietness, virtue, contrivance. This is all the name. The Vedas have described the spirituality of the name of the Lord to be the highest truth. O Lord, reasonably judge we have Thy name to be higher than the highest, and so we do chant Your name. This is pure wisdom. O Vishnu, it is only by the grace of Thy name that we are capable of offering hymns to Thee. So we should adore and pray to Thy name alone. Because of avidya, devotees in their first stage have no taste for the name. They don't feel any bliss out of it. Some don't even like it. And the remedy for that is the patient and continuous repetition of the name, because it will continue to cleanse, to purify the devotee. Then he will feel the taste of the name. Then they feel uneasy if they stop singing the name, and a constant and regardful chanting produces a supreme liking for him. So first, they don't have a taste for it. Then they feel unease if they stop chanting the name. And a constant and regardful chanting produces a liking for the name. The name becomes all that matters. Zeal and earnestness to avoid sacrileges to name are very needful in the worldly-minded man and in the company of devotees. So zeal and earnestness to avoid sacrileges. This is very important. Because, like I said, each repetition is an offering to God, is being in God's presence. O Bharata, the name of Hari always stays in the mouth of a person who has worshipped Vasudeva, Vishnu, in hundreds of different births. So a person who has worshipped God in 100 different births always has the divine name is in his mouth. O holy Nama, holy name, all glory to Thee, who art eternally by the saints, to confer eternal bliss upon the people. Thou hast appeared before them as the transcendental Word. Thou destroyed all sorts of terrible sufferings of him who happens to chant even thy dim reflection known as namabas. We will go to this in the offenses. What is this namabas also? So I will not go into this right now. But it is a dim reflection of the pure chanting, the chanting with this without offenses and in devotion. So it is, but it's better than the first part, the first one. But we'll go to that later. O Harinam, name of God, clearing myself of all offenses, I entirely take shelter in thee. So without clearing myself of all offenses, there's no coming to thee, my Lord. This is very important. And those of you who chant and don't have devotion inside, very dim, understand there's a lot of offenses. So you need to raise your perception, understand things, so that you can purify your heart and make an offering with dignity to the Lord. Okay.
Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhushka sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva.